Welcome to Joshua Shultz's podcast. We'll be covering entertainment, movies, photography, TV shows, and health. Hey everyone, welcome to Joshua Shultz's podcast. We have a very special guest today, Mike from MXPX. Hey brother.
Hey, good to see you. Looking good.
You too. Thanks, man.
Dude, you've been through it, man. I'm so glad you're feeling good. You're smiling. You got the best attitude. It's good to see.
Thanks, man. Yeah, for the people that don't know, the first time I met Mike was on my birthday, February 17th. I flew from Texas to Washington to go to Bremerton. And so my first time meeting Mike was him taking me out for my birthday with birthday gifts and birthday cake, which was quite an introduction. That was a great dinner.
Yeah, I just put myself in your shoes, just thinking, okay, if I'm like flying somewhere, I've never met these guys, it's my birthday. It's kind of a weird birthday, you know. It's a little off, but you know, it's kind of what we do as artists sometimes. You know, you just go for it. You're just trying something. So I appreciated you sort of just being okay with that, you know, whether or not you were okay with that, you did it. And so I wanted to at least I'm not a great gift giver. So, I mean, I want to do something, whatever I could do to like make you feel a little bit more like, okay, these guys appreciate my time.
Well, it was amazing. And it was also like the perfect introduction because it was my 40th birthday. So it was like a big deal. But, you know, I'd been a fan of MXPX from when I was in high school. And so, and then it also, I feel like it broke the ice between us because we were about to do quite a bit of heavy working together for the next few days. And so it gave us a chance. Sometimes I come on set and it's like, you don't really get to like build trust or bond with somebody. You just kind of hit the ground running. So it gave me opportunity to kind of get to know you and for us to understand each other and build a little bit of trust. And, which then made the next 2 days for me so much more enjoyable and exciting, and it also allowed me to really concentrate more on making the art that we were going for. And but even like we would work and like kill ourselves all day, then we would all still end up like getting dinner and having a great time. Like the energy of the group was so positive. It's kind of addictive. Like if you're getting to make art and you're making art with people that are so fun to be around and everyone was so kind and hardworking, I feel like that's the perfect formula, you know?
Yeah, it's those days where you go all day and you don't really look at your phone. You might use your phone to take a photo or a video or something, but you're not looking at your phone. Because you're so busy, you're so just in the moment. I love those days, and not every day can be that day, you know. But getting in those projects, and that was one of those projects, you know, where okay, we're gonna do some work, but we're also, I would never even have time to think about my phone, but two, there's just so much better stuff happening right here. So that to us was, you know, just the whole combination of having you there, having all our guys there, our crew, and even at the house, you know, with Rick, it was just a good vibe. You know, you're right. It's when you get that, it's like striking gold. Like we hit a little piece of gold there. Let's keep digging there.
And for the fans that listen to the podcast that aren't familiar with you, can you say a little bit about who you are and your band?
Yeah, of course I should do that. Yeah. So my name is Mike Herrera. Thanks for listening. My band's called MXPX. We're from Bremerton, Washington. We've been around a long time. Just, you know, we started super young in high school and got signed early, started touring right out of high school, toured the country, toured the world. Still going, still doing it. We just released a new record called Find a Way Home. And the fans are loving it. The longtime fans are loving it. So it's good to kind of get both the newer fans and the older fans both sort of agreeing like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is cool. Because, you know, it can be hard sometimes to follow up with beloved releases, you know, for a band and an artist. It's songs, albums, things like that. So for us to put out a new album and have a good reaction, we're pretty excited. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm here talking to Josh. He directed our first single, Stay Up All Night, and it was a big undertaking. We took it very seriously, and it worked out. You did a great job. You knocked it out of the park, and
Thank you, sir.
Everybody's super happy with it. So thank you. Yeah.
Well, to go back to your album, it's very seldom that I will hear an album from a band that's been around for a while, and their new album becomes, in my opinion, my favorite album. Like, it was amazing, killing it. New album is like a whole new plateau. And I find myself, the true test of if I like an album is if I listen to it on repeat at the gym. Because it's just me and like this hard lifting and the music kind of fuels that. And so I'm kind of happy I didn't get to listen to the album until it came out. I obviously got to listen to the one we're doing the video, and Stay Up All Night. I remember the first time I listened to it, immediately had a very special meaning to me. And I didn't realize as time went on how much more special that meaning would become, because, we shot in Bremerton for 2 days, and then I went to Texas, and we had a whole hospital sponsor the music video. We had the fire department in 2 different states help the boy in the music video who beats cancer is a real boy who had just beat cancer. Mm-hmm. In fact, a lot of the extras were cancer survivors, and a lot of the people that volunteered their time to work on the music video, they all had their own story. And then in the making of the music video, ironically, I became very close to dying. I developed blood clots, and my surgeon hadn't spotted it. So I went to see my primary doctor 3 weeks after getting the clots because something didn't add up. And when my primary saw me, he turned white and he rushed me to the hospital, and they scanned me, and I had clots in my lungs and my heart and my legs, and they wouldn't allow me to sleep because they had they were afraid if I closed my eyes I wouldn't ever wake up again. And then I had to go through that experience. And I remember sitting in the hospital, like I think on the second or third day, thinking about that song, because I remember when we were filming in the hospital and we were doing these acting scenes, trying to imagine what that was like, and come to a month later, and here I am in the hospital. And the message of the song for me personally, I can't really speak for you, but for me was, we all go through these hard times, and life can be very tough. But when I was essentially on my deathbed, life priorities got really clear. The only thing that really mattered to me were people that I loved and people that loved me, and nothing else mattered, no problems, nothing. And I was fortunate to have my family, sitting by my side, staying up with me, and watching me and making sure I was okay. And all of a sudden that song just had this very real world, deep meaning to me. And so it's just ironic that we were making this music video to this song, and then I went through that. And then after coming out of the hospital, not being allowed to like walk or work out, it gave me ample time to edit.
Yes, it did. That's
and
great.
I had such a great experience with one thing I loved about you is you're always positive. Like whenever we had to overcome some sort of obstacle or something, it was like, all right, we got this, let's do this. And so it made the whole experience very positive when, the hospital and everything could be something else, but it really became this beautiful memory.
Dude, that's awesome. That's so rad to hear. And like anything that you go through that's really terrible, if you're lucky enough to come out the other side, it really changes you. It gives you that new perspective that you didn't have before. And so much more gratitude, so much more joy. It's almost like you get to that next level of emotions in your life, right? Is that right at all?
Oh yeah. Uh, I don't know if the word is matures you, but it just you shed. For me, the biggest thing is I shed so much unneeded baggage from my life, and I just had a much calmer point of view on everything.
Yeah. Like nothing's that big of a deal now that you've kind of gone through this. Like
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, the amount of insanity you have to react to is different for sure. And that's cool to hear, you know, and I of course was only hearing little snippets at the time of Josh is in the you know, okay, all right, hope you're feeling well, like, you know, but geez, man, you know, nobody really knows what's happening unless you're there, right? Unless you're the one going through it, unless you're right next to that bed, whatever it is. And I guess that kind of speaks to the song too. It's like, wow, hopefully people really hear this song, see the video, and they can connect that mood to their own life and to those people that they can have that shift of gratitude, hopefully. I mean, I don't know. I'm not asking for anything, honestly, with this song, you know, just people to listen to it and find it where you're at. You know, it can meet you where you're at in life.
Ah, that's beautiful. Well, then, are you able to talk a little bit about just the history of MXPX from kind of the inception to now, and what led up to
Sure.
this new album? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you the Reader's Digest on the full history because it's been eras, you know. So the beginning was us in high school, just figuring out our instruments, trying to learn how to play, write songs. We started out pretty early promoting our own shows. So we would put on our own shows. We'd get other bands, and other bands would put us on their shows, and we'd do the same for them. And it wasn't a business venture. It wasn't like let's do this and make money. It was like let's do this so we can play shows. It was just the means to the end, and that attitude and that work ethic propelled us. Being from a small Navy town, my dad was in, you know, all of our dads at one point worked at the naval shipyard where our town is, and so it's kind of a legacy thing. It's like, yeah, you know, people around here work now, and we've just carried on that tradition, you know, and it just in music form in a band. We try to hire local when we can, as far as like helping out merch and, you know, our merch store, our online store. But moving forward, we started touring right out of high school. We got signed. We released our first record in 1994. Before it was our senior year of high school, we released our first album. And it did really well for what it was. Like, people were dubbing the tape, sending it to their friend in Michigan or wherever they were, and little word of mouth was spreading. And so when we started hitting our first tours, there was a little bit of a community started. And in California, we started hitting that first. We would go down there, fly down, miss school, and have to have a note, you know, for our teacher to get out of class. And so we do shows in Southern California, Orange County mainly, and that really kickstarted us. That got the word of mouth spreading, and I think that's why everybody thinks we're originally from Southern California. We have that Southern California sound, and we became bigger there than we were even in our hometown, Bremerton, Washington. And we did well there as well. But so here we are. We're on our way. We're touring. We never stop. We're doing all these tours through the 90s. We start doing Vans Warped Tour. We're on the Vans Warped Tour for 98 or 97, 98. In Europe, in Australia, 99 for the Warped Tour. We come back. We do it here. So we did a lot of Vans Warped Tours over the years, in between all the other tours we've done, and putting out records, getting in the studio, being down in LA, living that, you know, kind of rock and roll life. And it was fun. It still is, honestly. But, you know, things changed. So we went through that first era, the skate punk era, where we drove our van around, you know, the whole country all the time. And then I think our second era was sort of like the 2000s on, always on a bus, always on a big tour bus, always just traveling in style and staying at the Mondrian or whatever, you know, like things like that. I don't even know if that place is still around, but And then the DIY years, which is kind of what we've been in the last 10 years. We got off major labels. We got off when the whole record industry crashed in, I would say 2008, 2009, somewhere in there. We were kind of forced as a band, artists were forced to kind of just rethink the whole business, and record royalties weren't doing well. This is before streaming, so if you can imagine a world before streaming, before Spotify, before Apple Music and all these things, I wasn't really thinking ahead. I wasn't thinking, oh geez, something will happen, right? All I was thinking is music isn't worth anything anymore. I'm not making any money off music. I can grind, I can do shows, of course. And then I just kept grinding through that. And lo and behold, we enter into this sort of golden age of MXPX where, I teamed up with a few people that knew about the world, the management side, Tom Chichilla and Brad Blanco and a few others. And the band was back stronger than ever. Tom and Yuri, and we got Chris. And we started making songs and selling out shows. And it's always been trying things, trying a big project. So one of the big projects we did was we're going to do 3 nights at the Troubadour in Hollywood. Wow. We did that. We sold out those those shows, lickety split. Did those 3-night stands, and so sort of building big events happening. And so our next event, obviously aside from this album, is we're doing a show in Los Angeles at the Hollywood Palladium. So that's January 6th. Tickets are on sale right now. The kicker is it's almost like a festival. It's MXPX, Less Than Jake, Reliant K, and Smoking Popes. Wow. All headliners in their own right, in their scenes, in our scene. And all of our really good friends. Literally all those bands are good friends of ours. So we kind of try to do things like that, where it all just fits together like a glove in a lot of ways. So that's going well. Tickets have been selling great for that. So if you guys want to go, if anybody wants to go, let me know. Or, everybody else buy tickets. Everybody else buy tickets.
I'll put the link in the description. Mike will be in the back of the Hollywood Palladium with tickets. No. Man, I'm going to have to go to LA for that, because I lived right next to the Palladium in Hollywood for years in those apartment buildings. And of course, as soon as I move away, now there's shows that I want to see. But maybe I'll be there by January.
Yeah, come on out. If you just put a few photo shoots in there or something on the day before or something. But
yeah, make
it happen, and I got you. So that'd be rad. So yeah, this new album is sort of just a new era in and of itself, because our third era, entering into the 2013 and up to now, that's us starting to do the Troubadour thing and starting to do other shows around the country and go to, I think we did a show in London that was pretty big for us, and a few things like that, strategically placing some big sellout shows around. We started doing that, and that sort of catapulted us into our self-titled, which was in 2018. And then we had Let's Ride on that, which became a new hit, which is very rare for a band, that's been going on like us, to have a new song become a hit. It was on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater video game soundtrack. So a cool thing for me, because I grew up playing that game. So to be on it again was cool. But even before that, it was a fan favorite. It rose to the top of all the streaming numbers. So Let's Ride really encouraged us to go, okay, let's do it again. Let's do another song. Let's do another album. And that's why you have Stay Up All Night and you have Find a Way Home. And we're in the midst of it. So time will tell. Maybe we've failed. Maybe we will fail. But we're doing our best. I think we did the live streams. And, if you want to talk about that, we can go into more detail. But that really launched the excitement and the talk about this record. For the MXPX community and the punk rock community in general.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I would love to hear about that.
So leading right up, right before the record dropped, Thursday night, we did a live stream. And we did a live stream Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We did 2 on Saturday, and we did one last one on Sunday. And so every day, we didn't advertise them all. We just advertised the one, and then people would watch it. And then we'd advertise the next one. Be like, oh, another one? Okay, and then we'd advertise the next one. So at the same time, we're doing that kind of vibe where we're playing our full record, 13 songs live, not pre-recorded or anything, just completely live in our practice space. But we're not just on our MXPX YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We're on all of those every night, but we're also collaborating with partners. So we got Spin Magazine, Alternative Press Magazine, 23 Punk, Punkyondo from Mexico, like international places as well, Rock Sound from the UK. We did that. We did a bunch of our favorite and friends in bands. We had them on our live stream going live on their channels on Friday night. So it was Less Than Jake, Simple Plan, Zebrahead, all these bands. And then the next night it was like Bowling for Soup, Unwritten Law. And so it was just on and on and on and on. And I would have kept doing it, to be honest, because like we had so many more friends that we wanted to like put on there, but you can only do so many at a time. But the whole idea was to be constantly on your feed. So a lot of people hearing this probably never saw any of those because you're not in the bubble that we're in the bubble. So we're trying to get into other people's feeds. So you might not have ever heard of MXPX or you've heard of us, but you don't see us daily. And then this starts pop up, and hopefully eventually somebody just sees at least one or two songs live, hears about the show at the Hollywood Palladium, hears about whatever we're doing, Furnace Fest, When We Were Young Fest, and something just clicks. Oh yeah, I want to do that, and I think it worked pretty well. It got people talking, and I think we're going to continue to do it. And we told all our partners, hey, if you ever want to come on ours and do a live thing, broadcast on ours, any day. We got you. Because it's kind of insane that all these bands with we did the Warped Tour Facebook, we did the Warped Tour YouTube, and there's like millions and millions of followers on there. It's just a trip. It's a trip to just get that kind of access. And I think part of it is because nobody had ever asked before. Wow. So it was just, you try something new, you're going to get to do it for a little while until the cops show up and they're like, hold on, you're not allowed to do this. Get off this curb, son.
I think that's brilliant because to me, sometimes thinking about like what an audience member would want, if I find a band that I love and then I'm able to then get exposure to other bands that are similar that I might love, and then get to see them in a space where they're playing live and they're raw and authentic, like I've never even thought of that. But now that I hear that, I'm like, it's a no-brainer, of course. Like, I would love, like, that you guys should have, like, your own just, like, channel. You know what I mean? I guess that's the new TV channel. But, like, imagine if you could tune into, like, Punk TV, and then every band you love is, like, playing live, and they're talking, and they're sharing stories, and you get to be part of this world, and, this a similar wavelength. I think that's so brilliant. What was it like making this new album?
It was beautiful. We enjoyed it. We enjoyed the process. We had Ryan Furlot come in. He's a cat from Portland, Oregon, and we hadn't ever met him before. So we actually had him come in to do one song, and under the guise of like, let's try it. But we put him through the ringer, and he came back and did a bunch of songs for us. And him being local, he could just drive up from Portland, was really, really important for us. And our last producer, Casey Bates, was a Seattle guy, also convenient. He could just drive over. And a lot of that is proximity. Proximity is so important when it comes to like getting gigs. If you just happen to be in Texas, and you can get an extra gig like that, or LA or Florida, whatever you're doing. But sometimes you're across the country and you can't get there. So for us, we wanted it to be accessible. And so it was part of, I know that I'm like totally in the weeds as far as answering the question, but it kind of comes into play on like why you hire people sometimes. And with producing, it's not like making a video where you can fly in and do a couple days and then do the rest on your own. But making a record, you have to be here. You have to like tell, okay, Yuri, try that again. Yuri doesn't really have to do it too many times, but might be me. It's me like singing vocals, but yeah, we just, you've been to the space here, I think, in the studio, at least briefly you came in, Didn't
A
you
couple times,
see the
yeah.
CD? Yeah. So, I mean, we just, it always looks different. Every few months, it looks completely different. So, like right now, it looks like the live streams looked. But yeah, we kind of make it our home. And, Tom Wisniewski, our guitar player, he'll put up all his favorite movies, like Kubrick movies and like weird stuff in the background. So with the sound off. And so we just kind of have this vibe going on while we're making the music that's timeless and perennial. And we want to make something that's not just for when we release it. We want to make something that lasts years and years and years. So when you, like you said, it's hard to say, it's hard to say that a new record is your favorite because you don't know how it's going to affect you years later. But emotionally, you feel like this might actually be my favorite record or whatever, So I think that's what we're trying to do every time. And we don't always get it right, or we get closer to right. So this record was our attempt at another attempt at just making a really solid piece of music that people that love this genre, people that love what we do, are gonna love.
That's incredible. I love that, and I love also just the process of how you guys make an album, because you're right. Making a video can be a lot more black and white, but making an album, you're creating something out of nothing. And, there's so much trial and error before you get it right. What's it been like being on tour this year?
It's been great. We took our time coming back from the pandemic, doing shows. We did a couple shows. We did a couple other shows, kind of dipping our toe into the water, testing the temperature. And the show sold out. We did a few and they were great. But we really didn't want to get too crazy into it because we were working on this record. Honestly, it was like, the thought process is once we start doing shows, it's hard to stop. You get in this momentum, this motion, and if we don't finish this record, if we don't get the videos done, if we don't get the recordings done, if we don't get all the artwork, all that, and to me, because we do have a team, but I'm really like day to day on the album process, everything. When it comes down to like writing the songs, recording videos, marketing, all of that. So that was a big decision on why we didn't tour right away. But now that we have the record out, we've got a ton of shows that we're planning for 2024. And of course, we're finishing out this year doing festivals. The festival's been great. We've been headlining just about every festival, not every festival, but just about every festival we've been headlining, which may be just part of where we're at in our career as well. But coming up, we're doing Furnace Fest, September 22, Friday night, headlining, closing. It's the opening night, headlining, and that's with Hatebreed, Amberlin, Reliant K, 90 Pound Wuss, a bunch of other bands. So it's going to be a great bill. And then When We Were Young Fest, we're not headlining that one. That's Green Day and Blink-182, but it's going to be great. And we're planning a couple killer sets. I think most people, because we're playing 2 shows in a row, most people are probably going to play the same set. And for most all intensive purposes, will probably play it close to the same set. But we definitely are like kind of feeling like throwing a couple different things in there just for people that come both days, get a little extra.
I love that.
We've always tried to do that.
I love that. When We Were Young, that's going to be in Vegas, right?
Las Vegas, yes. Sorry, I didn't say. Furnace Fest is in Birmingham, Alabama, and then When We Were Young is in Las Vegas, and of course Hollywood Palladium is in Hollywood. So
Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, well that's not too far from me. I think that's like a 7-hour drive for me. I'll have to take a look at that. And what's next for you guys after the tour and the album? Do you have more videos coming out? Is there anything that you can tell us?
Oh, we just put out a new video recently for Cautious Optimistic, fun little like diner sequel to Chick Magnet from the 90s. So that was a fun one. And then we're just we have a video that we'll release. I don't know. We don't know the exact schedule, or if we do, we're not saying, but I think it's going to honestly just depend on what's going on, because we're traveling a little bit, we're doing shows. And so on the off weeks, we'll probably put out a video, that kind of thing, and get people pumped on that. And then show and then all that. So we're going to just be working it all throughout this fall into Christmas. We have, of course, some fun stuff planned around the holidays. For those wondering about like a Pacific Northwest date up in Washington State, we are planning something. That's all I'm going to say. I can't say what yet, but we'll announce some stuff soon. So pretty excited about it.
That's amazing. All right, here's a question. What do you have any sort of special fan that? Or sorry, do you have any special message you would like to share with all your fans?
Well, first, I just want to say thanks to the fans, everybody that's supported MXPX, past and present. Appreciate you. It's always amazing to be able to do what we do, to be able to just think of something and then record it and then present it and perform it. So thank you guys, and thanks for checking out the new album, Find a Way Home. If you guys want anything, it's all, records, vinyl, merch, it's all at mxpx.com. It's all shipped from Bremerton, Washington. It's a small little, mom and pop's, store. And we appreciate that. But as far as a message to you, I would say, it's the same message as the album, which is don't be afraid to dig deep. It's going to hurt, but it's always worth it to keep going. It's always worth it to give the extra effort, whatever it is. It's not like we've been talking about. It's not whether you fail or succeed or win, because you're going to win eventually. That's the problem. It's not today maybe, but it'll be someday. And I think we all need those reminders. So this album is meant to be really a pep talk for the listener, a pep talk for me as the songwriter to just keep going. And we have those ups and downs. So don't think your life is always going to be those downs. It's just back and forth. Like you, a couple months ago, your life was pretty down, brother, pretty down. So that's the message is keep going. We'll get it. We'll get up there.
I love that. Okay. And the last thing, where is the best place for people to follow you guys, get updated information about albums, videos, tours, everything?
MXPX.com is our website. Go check that out. You can go and find any social media there. If you want to see any of the live streams, the best place is just go to the MXPX YouTube channel. The videos are there. Of course, go check out Stay Up All Night right now. If you haven't, watch it over and over and over. It's on our YouTube, and see Josh's work. And that's the best place. And then if you follow us on Instagram or whatever you follow us on, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, we appreciate you. We don't kill it. We don't overkill. I think we do try to do some meaningful posts and let people know what we're up to. So
amazing. Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on my podcast and talking about all this. And I miss you guys. Can't wait to see you guys again in person and hopefully catch one of your live shows.
Absolutely, Josh, man. Pleasure talking. Good to see you, and would love to see you in person again. We will.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.